They didn't have vitamins. They didn't know what ascorbic acid was. Yet somehow medieval people figured out how to stop a disease that could rot your gums, loosen your teeth, and quietly kill you. Scurvy was a monster, and one of its most unexpected enemies came from a humble bean, transformed by human ingenuity into medicine long before science had a name for it. Welcome back to Ancient Roots Uncovered. This is one of those stories that rewires how you see the past. Scurvy wasn't rare. It was everywhere. Sailors, soldiers, travellers, and the poor suffered most. Fresh fruits and greens vanished fast once winter hit or ships left land. People grew weak. Wounds wouldn't heal. Gums bled. Skin broke down. Medieval healers blamed bad air, imbalance, or spiritual decay. But quietly, in kitchens and storehouses, a solution was already fermenting. Soybeans were not eaten raw. That mattered. Raw soybeans are tough, bitter, and difficult to digest. Medieval people knew this through experience, not chemistry. So they processed them, and in doing so they accidentally unlocked something powerful. You know, the secret was transformation, not the bean itself. When soybeans are soaked, sprouted and fermented, their nutritional profile changes dramatically. Sprouting introduces vitamin C. Fermentation preserves nutrients and, well, makes them bioavailable. This wasn't just theory, it was survival knowledge, passed hand to hand, generation to generation. Sprouting beans was honestly one of the oldest tricks in the book. Dry beans could be stored for months or even years. But when soaked and allowed to germinate, they produced fresh, living food even in winter or at sea. Soybean sprouts contain measurable vitamin C within just a few days. That's enough to prevent scurvy if eaten regularly. Medieval people didn't measure milligrams, no, they measured results. People who ate sprouted foods didn't lose their teeth. Fermentation took things even further. Fermented soy pastes and broths were considered strengthening foods. They were given to the sick, to the weak, and to those recovering from long journeys. Medieval medical texts often described these foods as warming, blood-building, and restorative. That language wasn't random. You see, fermentation breaks down proteins into amino acids, improves mineral absorption, and stabilizes nutrients. And, well, it also allowed these foods to last for months without spoilage. In a world without refrigeration, that was medicine. Scurvy is not just a vitamin C deficiency. It's a breakdown of connective tissue. Collagen fails, blood vessels weaken, healing stops. Fermented soy foods provided not only vitamin C from sprouting, but also amino acids and minerals that supported tissue repair. People didn't say collagen synthesis. They said it gives strength back. And they were right. What's wild is how practical this knowledge was. Soybeans could be dried, transported, soaked, and transformed almost anywhere. A barrel, a clay pot, a warm corner. No orchards required, no citrus trees, no fresh harvests, just time and patience. This made soy-based remedies especially valuable for long-distance travel and harsh seasons. Soldiers on campaign, monks in isolated communities, traders crossing regions where fresh produce was unreliable. They didn't call it anti-scurvy food, they called it sustaining food, or healing broth, or strengthening paste. So the medical mindset of the medieval world, well, it really focused on balance, hot and cold, dry and wet. Fermented soy preparations were often classified as, balancing foods. They were thought to restore internal harmony after long deprivation. Now, modern science knows that fermentation actually increases antioxidant activity and nutrient availability. The medieval framework was different, but interestingly, the outcome was the same. People survived. This wasn't luck. It was, in fact, pattern recognition. Communities noticed who got sick and who didn't. Diets that included fermented or sprouted foods led to better outcomes. Over time, those practices stuck, not because they were fashionable, but quite simply because they worked. There's also, an overlooked psychological element here. Fermented foods smell strong, taste intense. They feel medicinal. Medieval people often associated bitterness and sharp flavours with healing. That reinforced their use as remedies rather than mere food. When someone was weak, you didn't give them bland grain. You gave them something potent. Soy became part of that tradition. It's important to understand this wasn't a single scurvy cure recipe. It was a system: storage, sprouting, fermentation, regular consumption, prevention, not rescue. Medieval medicine often worked best when it was quiet and consistent. That's the real lesson. Long before controlled trials, people engineered nutrition using nothing but observation and tradition. They turned a hard, nearly inedible bean into a shelf-stable, life-preserving food. They didn't defeat scurvy with a miracle. They outsmarted it with process. And here's the kicker. This knowledge faded not because it was wrong, but because industrial food systems replaced it. Sprouting and fermentation take time. Time doesn't scale easily. Pills do. But the medieval solution still works. Soybeans didn't save people because they were exotic. They saved people because they were understood, broken down, activated, respected. That's the kind of wisdom we dig up here. If this changed how you see medieval medicine, hit that subscribe button. Share this with someone who thinks the past was primitive. And stick around. Ancient Roots Uncovered is just getting started.